I no longer have to work. This is my sugar daddy's camera. Happy anniversary!
We're doing the damn thing.
4 years of mistakes.
4 years. By then, you probably should know you're wasting your time with someone. Not Clara, though. She's invested, though, because she knows that Squarespace money, it's right around the corner. We can almost taste it. Anyways, Clara and I just passed 4 years of being entangled with each other, and we wanted to celebrate not being sick of each other yet. We decided to head to Astoria, Oregon, an old standby for us when we want to get out of town. You've probably seen several videos on this channel of us being down there. It seems like all the big dogs have been down to Astoria, Oregon lately. Each and every one of them taking photos of this beautiful little town. If you're expecting more of the same on this channel, I hate to inform you, I don't own a Mamiya 7, and I haven't been able to afford Portrait 400 in years. Since this trip was more about Clara and I's anniversary, I promised her I wouldn't bring 1,000 cameras and be weighed down. Seeing this as a challenge, I wanted to make it more interesting, so I decided to limit myself to one camera, and having that camera have several limitations of its own. I decided on a camera that I couldn't use any lens filters on just yet, as well, only had one lens built into it. Anyways, I know you already know what camera this is, because you read the title of this video. At least I hope you did. My Rolleiflex happens to be an Automat 3, and it's paired with a 75mm f3.5 Schneider lens. Sorry if you're expecting some Carl Zeiss level photos in this video. Carl and I, we're just not cool yet. I decided to start this trip off with some Kodak Tri-X 400. Because the weather, it wasn't really calling for color film today. We're on the Oregon coast in the middle of January. I wouldn't expect any beautiful golden hours in this video. Fading and the rain moving in, Claire and I decided to sneak into a brewery just to pass some time till we can get into our hotel room. We eventually made it to our hotel, the Hotel Norblad. Or is it the Hotel Lad? Once checked into our room, Claire and I began to unpack and settle in. Clara carefully moved her belongings out of her suitcase and into the room, as I basically threw all my on the ground, but made sure to move my film into the mini fridge. Unpacked and hungry, Clara and I decided it was time for dinner, so we ran over to Fort George to grab some drinks and split a pizza.
I'm gonna smoke this, it's so hard.
If you ever make your way to Astoria, you have to go to Fort George. The beer's great, and the pizza's even better. You're looking sleepy.
Am I?
our stomachs full and my wallet drained, Clara and I decided it was time to head back to the room and call it a night. So unfortunately for me, my day job has me working nights, so I don't usually get home till 4 in the morning. The main problem I have with this is if I go to bed before midnight on the weekends, I tend to wake up in the middle of the night for several hours. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Wide awake, I decided to use the glow of the streetlights outside our window to help take some lovely B-roll shots. I did eventually make it back to sleep, but the next morning I woke up super groggy and in dire need of coffee, so me and Clara hit the streets. So for this trip, we had no plans, no expectations. The goal was just relaxation and exploring. We had both agreed though, that we didn't really want to drive anywhere else on this trip. We felt that we never really stay in Astoria, but we always end up jumping down to Cannon Beach, Seaside, Tillamook, etc. So with that being said, Clara and I decided to stay on foot so we can explore all the nooks and crannies of Astoria, Oregon.
Crying in the wind.
I had my heart set on taking one uninspired photo today beneath the Astoria Bridge, so we took a walk along the riverfront. I got it. My prized mediocre photo. Time to never look at it again. At this point, we had worked up an appetite, so we decided to walk back into town and find a place to get some lunch. Also, don't mind Clara, she's just listing the reasons why I love fish and chips.
Soggy breading, uncooked fish. Nice.
as from our lunch, we decided to hit the antique stores. Not gonna lie, I was holding my breath to find one of those $5 Hasselblads I've been hearing so much about.
This is too unique.
I struck out on thrifting, so me and Claire decided to head back to the room, just for a little afternoon rest. Not wanting to waste our entire trip in the room, Claire and I decided it was time to head back out into the elements and see what Astoria had to offer. Our first stop was a hidden arcade that was actually recommended to us by one of the girls at the coffee shop that morning. This place was rad. It had plenty of arcade games and multiple pinball machines, and the overall future sci-fi look is pretty fun. My only complaint about this place was, it didn't have Mortal Kombat 2. How do you call yourself an arcade if you don't have it?
Sorry, Chun-Li. His legs are massive! Oh my god! Oh my god! We're gonna keep doing that. Yeah, no, killing me. I think I'm good at Les Schwab.
You're doing better than me.
Winners don't use drugs.
From the arcade, we made our way back across town to check out a different brewery before dinner. So the rain wasn't going to let up tonight, but I wasn't going to let it stop me. I had my heart set on taking some long exposures with the Rolleiflex tonight. I know it's not the smartest idea to take an 80-year-old camera out into the pouring rain, but I never said I was smart. I ended up finishing up the roll of Kodak Tri-X 400, but the urge, it wasn't satisfied yet. I decided to switch gears and load up some color film. So I loaded up some Lomo Color Negative 800. I haven't actually shot Lomo 800 since 2021, but when Lomography lowered their prices of 120 film, I knew I had to pick some up. So shooting with a waist level finder in the rain, even if it's just sprinkling, isn't a great idea. The added moisture on the ground glass makes it pretty hard to focus. As well, the additional water droplets on the viewing lens, that doesn't help either. As well, the viewing lens has an aperture of f3.5, so in dimly lit scenes, it's pretty hard to focus in general. I could criticize these photos for hours, but I won't. I'll just say they're not my best work, but the colors came out lovely. At this point though, we were both wet and ready to call it a night. We ended up back in the room, where I would dry off the Rolleiflex and Clara would watch Forrest Gump for the first time. Honestly, who hasn't seen Forrest Gump? Every substitute teacher for American history in high school lobbed this VHS on just to shut the class up for 45 minutes. The third and final day was upon us. We honestly didn't have any plans today, so we leaned into a slow morning. So weirdly, the Rolleiflex is probably my oldest medium format camera, but it's my only medium format camera that has a self-timer mode. So I decided to take some self-portraits with Clara. I probably should have waited for the steam from the shower to dissipate, but hey, kinda looks like I got a free diffusion filter. After our little portrait session, we decided it was best to check out of the room and go get some breakfast. With our stomachs full, we decided to take a walk around town and kind of decide what we wanted to do for the rest of the day. The day wasn't getting any younger though, and we both had work the next day. As well, to top it off, we had a 3-hour commute back home. We ended up back at Obelisk Brewing, the brewery from the first day. We weren't really thirsty, but it was a place to get out in the rain and gather our thoughts. We decided we wanted to do one more thing before calling the trip done. But first we needed gas. For some reason, I just don't really understand why Oregon has someone fill up your tank for you. It's just weird. So our final stop on this trip was the Astoria column. Unfortunately, the clouds had rolled in and there wasn't much to see, but I didn't climb 164 steps not to take photos. So I finished up the roll of Lomo 800, and I could have easily called it quits for the day since the rain had moved in. But I decided on loading up one more roll. I loaded up another roll of Tri-X, hoping that the natural diffusion of the clouds, along with the high contrast of the black and white film, could make for some moody photos. Remember when I said water in the ground glass makes it hard to focus at night? Yeah, it makes it hard to focus during the daytime too. So with that last exposure on the Tri-X finished, so was this trip. So my photos on this trip may not have been my best work, and the weather wasn't that great either. But when I'm traveling with Clara, none of that really matters. These trips are more about getting out of our routines, spending time together, making memories, and of course laughing. Why don't you stick around and subscribe to this channel? I got a couple trips coming up this year that you won't want to miss. As well, I promise not to shoot exclusively square format.
Double rainbow. What does it mean?